This show is full of bangers. Nobody warned me that every single song would be an earworm. Mandy Moore not only played Rapunzel in Tangled the series, but she's also the titular bitchular of Sheriff Callie. Girlie has pipes, and if that isn't enough to get you excited, we also have freaking Lucas Graybeard in the building. God help us all. This is my intro. It lets you know what chaos you're in for. But lovers, welcome back to the lore series where we overanalyze the logic of shows no one else is brave enough to. We're here for a laugh, a hoot and a holler if you will. And as always, although the series we talk about are made for kids, my videos are not. I watched Sheriff Callie over my little sister's shoulder as a kid. I pretended to be too cool for it, and look at me now. Curiosity killed the cat. No, wait! This Disney show has 45 episodes across 2 seasons. No specials, no movies. For a show this popular, I'm surprised they didn't at least have a 2-parter. But there is no continuity in sight. It is purely episodic. We'll begin with the first episode, but first, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. Have you guys found yourselves doom scrolling for a while? I was in the exact same position until I started playing this video's sponsor, Love and Pies. Usually with these really calming, relaxing games, I get bored, but with Love and Pies, there is an engaging story. Imagine this. Your mom's beloved cafe burned down under mysterious circumstances, and now you have to rebuild it from the ashes while uncovering secrets behind the fire. Are you hooked? So am I. The aim is to match fitting ingredients to create pies and other baked goods to then sell to your customers. The tips you earn help finance all the upgrades and decorations to your cafe. And getting further in the game unlocks more of the storyline. Now, I've been playing for a while, and what keeps me coming back are these limited time events. This time, we have a sticker album event, Winter Tales, featuring absolutely gorgeous artwork from Elijah Mazur. Love and Pies passionately works with very talented artists. And can we just give it up for that? These stickers are too cute. You know, this time of year is my absolute favorite. And aside from taking in the gorgeous artwork, each sticker rewarded and each themed piece of the album unlocks incredible rewards. I find myself so excited to return to continue to personalize my gameplay. It makes it all the more cozy, all the more festive. It's such a welcome breather from the stresses my phone usually puts in my face. And if you use the link in my description, you get the exclusive gift of 200 energy and 50 gems. So be sure to use the link in my description as that is the only way to get this deal. Thank you so much to Love and Pies for sponsoring this video. I'm gonna keep playing. Now back to Sheriff Callie. In the very first episode, Horseshoe Peck, we see that everyone in this Wild West village of nice and friendly corners is skilled. Especially Callie. The things she can do with her lasso are unnatural, but she makes it look natural.
Holy shit, that's natural!
As we see all of these talents, we meet many of the townspeople, including this badminton champion named Dirty Dan.
I want to be Dirty Dan!
What makes you think you can be Dirty Dan?
2 seconds after Peck the Woodpecker exclaims that he isn't good at anything, he discovers he's a natural at horseshoe slinging. The town hypes him up in a way that goes on for so long. They are singing, they are dancing, they are losing their shit, quite frankly. Oh, heavens to Betsy! You threw a ringer? You're my hero. Give him the keys to the city. Give him the keys to my heart. Peck, 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 Peck! Peck tries to be a humble king, but after everyone sings his praises quite literally, he ends up being a bad sport, bragging, insulting people, including his best friend, a sentient cactus named Toby. You put the suck in succulent, you loser! Now watch me dance. Now watch me dance. Callie has no choice but to show Peck how it's done. As they take to the streets, all the other townsfolk run inside, duck and cover like it'll be an actual duel. Callie's about to shoot Peck in the fucking face! Quick, hide! But let's still watch, because after how boastful he was being, he totally deserves it. She beats him at a game of horseshoes, but shows him how to be a good sport about it. She doesn't do a victory dance or rub it in. He sees how terrible he was acting, he apologizes happily ever after. Now, you've heard of Alvin and the Chipmunks, but have you heard of these three? Apparently, this is the prairie dog trio. They look a lot more like chipmunks. They don't do crazy riffs like Alvin, but they sing everything. The title cards, massive story beats, the lesson at the end, and it's almost always in the exact same tune. It never gets old at all. By Callie's Gold Nugget, the second half of episode 1, I was already wondering if Callie and this prairie dog trio would always be the town's moral compass. The singing narrators is one thing, but will Callie ever have a character flaw? Stay tuned. In this episode, she finds a gold nugget, and she is determined to use the money she gets from it to fix the town's bridge. Selfless, community-oriented queen. She trusts Peck and Toby to watch it, and they lose it under Peck's hat. These two have less than a single brain cell combined. And then to top it all off, they lie to her and go through this elaborate plan to replace it with a painted rock. The funny thing is, if they just fessed up to their mistake, she would have found it in a second.
If we had told you the truth from the beginning, you would have helped us find the nugget a lot sooner.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. I scripted this before I even got to that part of the episode, before you even said that. I hate you, Peck.
Hey, yo!
From as early as the theme song, we saw four-legged horses, including Sparky, Callie's horse that she rides on. So we know there's a clear difference between the human-like animals and the animal-like animals. This show looks similar-ish to Octonauts, but in Octonauts, even animals that are not bipedal, even animals that don't have big heads, can speak. In this show, it is way more clear-cut, like Goofy versus Pluto. The first example of same species but completely different vibe is Ella the cow milkshake shop owner and the cows grazing on Farmer Stinky's farm. This distinction is very important to me because it confirms that Ella is not selling milkshakes made from her own milk. In episode 2, Train Bandits, if it wasn't enough seeing a small animal lizard in the title card before seeing more human big-headed clothed lizards on the train, we also have to unpack the presence of mythological creatures. As the train was passing, in this outdoor shot, we see jackalopes for the first time. Jackalopes are rabbits with antlers. So why are some animals completely animal-like, while others have evolved to form a society? Dirty Dan and his brother Dusty work in the mines. And in the episode A Dirty Dusty Apology, Callie is the one to send the brothers to mine more iron. Now, yes, we could talk about the socioeconomic implications of why the two characters who are named after dirt and grime work in the mines. I assume they gave themselves these nicknames because it would be absolutely absurd and mean if anyone else did. They play it up like they really like their jobs and they really like getting dirty. Good for them, I suppose. But I'm more interested in talking about these animals' interactions with these minerals. Could this be what aided in their evolution? Whether the actual chemicals caused a physiological change, or just the act of creating tools caused their evolution, or maybe a mix of both, we have seen time and time again that even the non-humanoid animals can comprehend and communicate even better than ours. Clementine the mule gets fed up hearing Peck lie about what actually happened, and even shows Callie how he's lying. But back to the human animals. It never really struck me that Peck the woodpecker can't fly until I watched the episode Priscilla's Lovebird. I was really hit over the head with how different the animal-like animals are when I saw just how small these lovebirds are, and also how Peck is unable to catch them on account of the fact that he can't fly. As this tiny little thing flew in circles around our flightless big-headed bitch boy, I thought about a real-life example of a bird evolving out of the need to fly and also getting much larger. Boom, the dodo bird right here. Once it had no natural predators, it stopped flying and became quite plump. I imagine since Peck's ancestors moved to nice and friendly corners, they no longer had a need for flight. Not only because of the non-threatening vibe of the village, but also because of the introduction of tools that would replace the need for this strength, as we saw by the buzzard flying around in an airplane. In Season 2's Toby's First Snow, we meet a very feral bear, tearing up outdoor areas for food before hibernating. This is very different than the only other bear we've met in the series, Oswald. He is way more human-like. He does not have sharp teeth. He does not growl. He doesn't hibernate in the winter. There are plenty more examples of these comparisons later on in the video, so stay tuned because the logic of this world just continues to baffle me. I have way more questions than answers. But one thing's for sure, there is a very powerful magic present in this world that no one acknowledges. I'm not stupid, okay? I knew her lasso was magical from the theme song, when it turned into stairs and shit. I knew it was magical from all the times it turned into a hand and stopped people in their tracks. But listen, the way it was used as a spring in episode 5 made me gasp. That brought it to a whole new level for me, because it turning stiff and strong is one thing, but introducing elasticity, it helping a cow trampoline onto a mountainside. This was also the very first episode where Callie called it a noodle lasso. I was hoping we'd get an origin story of her getting this rope, like how we got one for Doc McStuffin's stethoscope. But unfortunately, we never do. Back to its abilities. We see the lasso act as a hammer in Peck's bent beak, a cattle fence to stop a stampede of cows in the episode Toby the Cow Sitter, and it's just brought to a whole new level in the episode Lasso Come Home. In the opening number, the lasso changes into the shape of a bunny. It turns into a broom and sweeps. It flies in the air like a bird. It turns into a propeller, and Callie is lifted through the air. She can fly with this thing. Toby, the alive cactus, wants to learn these tricks, but has to learn the basics first. Callie shows him how to tornado, and the noodle lasso is so powerful, it picks up to the speed of a little twister. Callie repeatedly says it's not the lasso that does the tricks, it's the twirler. But I do believe it's a prove yourself worthy of this power by putting in the work type of situation. When Toby is antsy to use her lasso, when she said not to, the lasso turns into an anchor. I don't think this was him so bad at twirling he accidentally created an anchor. I think this was the lasso stopping Toby before he hurts himself with powers he has not yet harnessed. By the end of the episode, after being patient, practicing, and following Sheriff Callie's instructions, Toby was able to turn the lasso into a hand and grab himself a soda.
That's natural!
Callie's undeniable skill is really shown off in the episode Peck and Toby's Big Yarn. She tosses veggies into the shape of Uncle Bun's face and knits a blanket with a carrot in it in 5 minutes flat. She did all of this with no lasso in sight. In Callie's Blue Jay Blues, these two Blue Jays steal half of Farmer Stinky's corn. Love that his name is Farmer Stinky, by the way. Callie is convinced that these two are bad guys, but turns out they're just very hungry. Their own crops are completely dried out, and they've been dealing with a drought near them, so guess what Sheriff Callie does? She lassos a damn rain cloud and magically makes them grow more corn. Now we see that her abilities are only normalized within her own town because these two are gobsmacked. I thought I too was desensitized to how powerful this lasso was, but right at the very end of Season 2, Episode 19, Stagecoach to Yonderville, Sheriff Callie used her lasso to light the candles on this birthday cake. The lasso has the ability to light things on fire? They are so lucky Callie is non-violent, because this would make for a very destructive weapon indeed. In Toby Gets the Scoop, Callie stops a runaway train by tying one end of the lasso onto the train and the other side onto a rock spire. Callie's intention fully changes the material of the rope. It doesn't break, It doesn't turn into elastic and launch them backwards. It isn't like the other times where the rope just never ends. The rope seems to know what she needs, and as long as she executes it skillfully enough, the lasso will help her. Here's the problem with that theory, though. The lasso helps Toby and Peck with some tomfuckery in the next episode. In Here Comes the Sun, these boys lasso the sun.
What?
Because they are scared of the night sounds. But they lasso the sun too close, so there is a terribly uncomfortable heat wave. To try and fix their mistake, they lasso the moon. Obviously, the moon does not bring the night back because the sun's still out. Duh. What I never would have expected to happen next is the moon begins to melt, and moon cheese falls to the ground. Moon cheese. Between this and the spaghetti twister from the episode Twist and Shout, where are we? What planet are we on? In the episode Doc Cheatin' Chili, using too many peppers in a recipe caused this volcanic explosion. Their food clearly has magical properties, which might explain the evolution of these animals, and also that one cactus? Wait a minute, what's Toby's deal?
Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis.
In Toby's Untrue a Chew, we see where Toby lives, in this greenhouse, which is completely different from the rest of his friends, is what I would say, but I don't think we've actually ever seen where any of them live, besides Toby. But it's definitely different than the rest of the village, like the buildings we do see. In the episode The Pesky Kangaroo Rat, Toby is accused of eating cucumbers on their way back before they washed them, but his defense is banging on his tummy, if he even has one, so they can hear how hollow his body is. In episode 7A, Toby gets nosy. A pimple-looking bump sprouts on his nose, but by the end of the episode, it turns into a cactus flower. It's no wonder the doctor never knows what's going on with him. He is so obviously very different than the rest of them. In the season 1 episode, The Prickly Pear, Toby finally meets someone like him. Another plant person? No, just somebody else with spikes. This porcupine named Polly May. Even though Toby doesn't let his differences get him down, it's clear meeting someone else with similar physical traits and experiences is very validating. He is very excited. Toby and Polly May do prickly activities, sticking food on themselves, sticking themselves to things. He can't do these activities with anybody else. So yeah, when he meets somebody that's just passing through town on the train, he is eager to have fun with her in a way he usually can't, for the little time she's here. Guess who is pouting about feeling ignored and making this whole relationship about him? It's Peck.
No!
He's the real prick. Toby actually apologizes to Peck for making him feel left out. And Polly May promises that the next time they meet up, they'll include Peck in whatever they do. Complete overkill. Plus, we never see Polly May again. The only thing I'm beefing with more than Peck are these streaming services. Disney Plus has every single episode except for season 1 episode 21 for some reason. Now listen, I would never in a million years dream of encouraging people to pirate. That's not me. That's illegal. I totally don't do that for all of these videos. But what I am legally allowed to say is maybe people wouldn't turn to other means of watching your shows if you actually provide the quality service you promise. Between a whole episode missing on Disney Plus this week and the last 15 minutes of a finale missing on Paramount Plus last week, hey, maybe we should stop giving these guys money. They kind of suck ass. In the very next episode, Toby braves the bullies. This bulldog picks on him all because he's a cactus. Sticking things to him, throwing his newspapers on the ground, stealing his scooter. The resolution really pissed me off. You know, if you just asked me, I would have shared my scooter. Oh, for that reason and that reason alone, I should have been nice to you. You can, just not be an asshole, even if people don't want to share with you. I can excuse discrimination, but I draw the line at not sharing. What kind of fuck-ass lesson? I do love the lesson to tell your loved ones about bullies, but the immediate switch-up can only happen on Disney Junior. The best birthday in the world. We finally see another cactus in the episode Bandit Toby. Toby is amazed to even hear about another sentient cactus, but when Kit the cactus comes to town, he is causing trouble. He's a villain, and somehow nobody notices the very obvious differences between them. The townspeople do not see color, they only see cactus. And the only cactus they know is Toby. When Kit performs a sticky up, which is them grabbing tape and taping people to the wall while they rob the bank, the townspeople kick Toby out of town. You hate to see profiling in nice and friendly corners. I'm just gonna say it. Neither nice nor friendly. Don't be speciesist. I know they apologize, I know it's a kid's show, but I still need more from them somehow. They need to make it up to Toby. I think he was way too chill about this. I would not trust any of these people again. And guess what? That is the only time we meet another sentient succulent. Toby is completely alone in a world that will turn on him in an instant, and that just doesn't sit right with me. In Season 1, Episode 2, Train Bandits, Callie is excited to compete in the sherrif contest. She's on the train, and when her and Peck go to the refreshments car for a glass of milk, these three wolves take this opportunity to lock the cops away in this train car while they tape up the rest of the passengers and steal from them. These are the Train Bandits the episode title foretold. The moment they announced their nefarious intentions, they even called it a sticky up. So I was pretty surprised at how real it was getting. I was honestly staring at their holsters, thinking for half a second that they might actually have a gun. I will forever admire the creativity of these kid shows for having high stakes, given their restrictions on what they can and can't show. And trust me, it is still full of action. This villain section takes up half of this video. Callie and Peck have to climb over the train car to get to everyone and make sure they're safe. And once they confirm that everyone's okay, they pursue the thieves. Once again, these three are not fucking around. In a last-ditch effort to get away, this wolf with an incredible throwing arm launches a rock to separate the train cars, and then they pull a lever to move the tracks, so the train car with everyone on it is heading down a path that ends. There is no other way to put it. These criminals were willing to put all these people's lives in danger, sending them plummeting to their death, all for a trophy. So now Callie has to decide what's more important. Justice being served and putting these three ne'er-do-wells behind bars, or saving all these people. This is the trolley problem. Now here's where I start to get suspicious about these singing prairie dogs. Yeah, I know, they're getting caught in the crossfire as most narrator bards do, but listen up. They were in this car while the sticky up happened, but somehow weren't taped up, and now they pop up in the coal car with the robbers. They sing a scared song in a minor key. Your talent cannot distract me, dude. How did you guys get here? Can you teleport? And furthermore, could you have teleported all the people from that other train car and saved their lives? I got my eye on you three. So Callie swings her and Peck over to the train car heading towards the broken tracks, because obviously that situation is way more dire. The groundhog governor even exclaims that this car has no brakes. Wait, what did you say? Pump the brakes. I just told you, we can't.
No, I mean like slow your roll.
We still can't slow the roll, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, why would there be no brakes?
Sherif Callie is able to hold the weight of all these people plus a whole ass train because she lassos away to the other side and they use the lasso as a train track. Somehow the lasso doesn't break or loosen. We've talked about all of its powers already. You already know the rope is built different and Callie is OP. If it isn't enough that she saved everybody, she still had time to catch up to the bandits, flipping through the air, declaring she's taking them to jail. And if that isn't a happy enough ending, Callie wins the Sherrif Award. Yeah, after all that, she better. Also, I know what you guys are going to say. Isn't Sherif Callie a cop? I can't unpack that right now. She's a little legend. Please let me have this one thing. In Season 1, Episode 3, Tricky Trouble, we meet Tricky Travis, who is apparently a coyote, even though he looks more like a weasel to me. Half the wikis say he's a coyote, half the wikis say he's a weasel. And we meet his bumbling sidekick, Oswald the Bear. These guys are snake oil salesmen. But they also set up these elaborate traps just waiting for people to walk into them. So when Peck and Toby can't move this giant rock that the two tricksters put there, Travis tries to sell these two the strong shirts that'll make them strong.
Oh, wow.
I love that it looks like it was drawn in the Jackbox game TKO. The scam artist demonstration didn't help their case either. It didn't feature a classic little old lady, but instead this giant bear in a squirrel costume. Peck and Toby fell for this. Neither of them acknowledge how huge the squirrel is. I wish I could just turn off my brain and enjoy the song sung by Yakko's voice actor, but I just can't help but focus on the design of these two. They look so different than the other talking animals. It feels like they're somehow in an in-between stage of the evolution. Maybe that's why they don't have the big octonauts heads. I don't know, but they stick out like sore thumbs. It is impossible for them to be inconspicuous. So they are very, very lucky they found the perfect targets to scam. I wrote right here in my script, if Callie were here, she would have clocked their tea before the giant squirrel even showed up, or after the boulder balloon switcheroo. That's what I thought, at least.
Make you strong shirts so we can move boulders and wagons and such. Sweet sassafras. How did you ever pick up a boulder that big?
Callie, no. She does immediately question these two newcomers when she hears the name Tricky Travis.
You mean Tricky Travis tricked us?
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
So I mean, at least there's that. Once the scam artists are caught, Callie lassos the two and makes them clean up the big mess that was left behind. I can appreciate that community service was the punishment here, because this crime is nowhere near the level of the train bandits that tried to kill everyone. Also, hold on a minute. The Prairie Dog Trio saw the scam and didn't warn anyone? And look at how they almost got run over. It seems like we're the only ones aware of them, just like how they're the only ones aware of us. More on this in a bit. Tricky Travis and Oswald return in Season 2's A Very Tricky Christmas, where we see how miserable they truly are. They distract the town by leading them in a marching band away from their giant Rockefeller Christmas tree so they can steal it. But the tree doesn't make them happy like they thought it would. They wanted to finally feel happy on Christmas. That's the only reason they did this. It's so easy to tug at my heartstrings with a Christmas storyline, dude. Callie and all of her friends sing around the tree's star, which is the only thing they have left of it, but they still feel more happiness than the tree thieves. Because they have community and friendship and family. This song makes Travis and Oswald cry, and it touches them so deeply they return the tree, apologize, and even surrender themselves, ready to be thrown in jail. But my girl Callie comes through with, "Don't bring them to jail. It's Christmas. Crime is legal on Christmas." You can get away with a little crime. And I think that's pretty beautiful. I really thought that was their redemption, but 8 episodes later and they continued their swindling ways. The magic of Christmas expired. So Travis and Oswald sell these fake mustaches in one town in exchange for buckles and suspenders. Then when they arrive in nice and friendly corners, they convince everyone that belt buckles and suspenders are the newest fashion craze in the city, when they know it isn't. I genuinely had the split-second thought of, I mean, isn't that just advertising? And I hate that even crossed my mind, dude. But at the same time, if it actually was a fashion craze and they were making people feel insecure for not following it, does that make it any better? Does ethical marketing even exist? Am I still a cog in the machine if the money I make from selling out is going towards good causes? Is this still about Sheriff Callie? Billy Goat the Kid broke out of jail in the second half of Season 1, Episode 6. The whole town could have worked together to stop this villain, and Peck was even screaming for help like a chump before remembering, oh yeah, Sheriff Callie put me in charge and I arrested everyone. Peck has some serious issues to work out. I'm surprised Callie even hired him with all the damage he continues to do. A truly toxic and wicked man. I unfortunately can't help but love him because, as I said, Lucas Grable's vocals are god tier. I'll be first and not last. If you could go fast. If you could go fast. And then there's another song where he goes, I'm pretty good at everything I do. How hard can it be? It'd be easy for me. How hard can it be to knit? Which has a little bit of sexist undertones. But that tune, goddamn! In the season 1 episode Peck's Bent Beak, we have a Zootopia-like lesson against discrimination and making judgments based on how people look. The wolf is a dentist, and before he can properly introduce himself, everyone is running and hiding. They apologize, but I hate how the wolf kind of assimilated at the end by making himself look like a dork with that aggressive middle part. He was like, oh, geez, I do look scary. Here, is that better? No, you looked cooler before. In the season 1, episode 16, Pie Thief, we actually meet the milk thief. This wildcat tied up the town to steal their milk. And the only reason Callie didn't bring him to jail sooner is because she was searching for the pie thief that Priscilla the skunk made up, just so she didn't have to admit that she ate the pies before the contest. Side note, I love Priscilla. She's so fun. She's so silly. No villain has hit harder than the very first ones we meet. You know, the ones that almost got away with murder. Will the stakes ever heighten again? Apparently, their jail could also be used as a timeout, as seen in episode 19B, Bug Trouble.
Now promise you won't put your hand in the cookie jar again.
If the prison system could also be used to build up silly morals, I don't see how Peck hasn't gotten a criminal record by now.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Okay, time's up.
In the season 2 premiere Boots or Consequences, Toby fishes up some boots, but once he realizes they're actually Dirty Dan's, he's conflicted because he really likes these boots. And honestly, I understand. They are super fresh. As Toby runs away, he accidentally stumbles into Bandit Canyon, where he meets Mean McGee, who I'm pretty sure is a bearded dragon. I was amped to see what he had up his sleeve, and you know what he has up his sleeve? Super tiny lizard minions. This had a lot of promise. But Toby tried to escape right after the villain number, and Mean McGee tried to steal the boots for himself. It seemed like it was going to be super threatening, but ultimately, Toby has spikes, and the reptile flat out pops. This guy almost interested me, and we never see his little tiny lizard minions again. Wasted potential. In the episode Sparky Runs Wild, we see 2 wildcats that are horse thieves. I love how niche these thieves are. Can they only steal one thing? Another good thing about this episode is that it confirms that Callie's horse Sparky is unique. It isn't just us who's never seen a blue, sparkly-maned stallion who runs so fast, literal sparks come out of his hooves. No, that's just more of this unexplained magic. The train bandit wolves return in season 2, episode 2, Peck's Deputy Drill. And this time they're trying to rob a bank. The timing couldn't be any more inconvenient because Callie and Toby just agreed to stage a bank robbery to help train Peck. Shenanigans. Just fully shenanigans. Look up shenanigans in the dictionary and this full episode is there for free. The level of confidence Peck had, not realizing it was a real bank robbery, really worked to his advantage. Somehow, even when he figured out what the situation actually was, Peck managed to take down the 3 bad wolves. They were clearly nerfed. A sorry sight indeed. Luckily, they come back again with a vengeance in a barrel full of trouble, where they pretend to be a shipment for Uncle Bun's store. 2 out of 3 of these bandits hide in barrels, and they steal everything. The new town flag, marbles, perfume, they empty out the store. They throw off the sheriff by pretending to be the store owner.
Just doing some light dusting.
Okie dokie.
Wait till you see the flag.
If you're in here, then who did I just hear in your store?
Terrible impression. I can't believe she fell for that. She's occasionally nerfed as well. Then during the getaway, they slow down our heroes by making them trip on marbles, spraying them with perfume, throwing the whole damn barrels at them, and then, worst of all, shutting them out of their fort. So here's the wild part. Callie tries climbing over, the bandits cut her down. She tries flying over, she's once again thwarted. Her, Peck, and the Pig Brothers tunnel underneath. The bandits flood them to the other side by hosing them down. Callie briefly gives up. Only once they take a page out of the villain's book do they decide to set up a sort of Trojan horse. Callie hides inside something, the bandits bring it into their fort, and the bandits are caught and brought to jail. Cute enough, fun back and forth. We haven't gotten that in a while. It's just so funny to me that they never tried just bashing down the wall. You've heard of lawful good, lawful evil, lawful neutral. Now get ready for lawful stupid. 2 out of 3 of the train bandits return to their roots, trying to steal a train once again in the episode Long Adios. And our heroes are so used to catching them, they don't even bring them all the way back to the jail. Callie has a performance in another town, so they just bring the bandits handcuffed. Look at them trying to clap one-handedly for the cop that just caught them. So goofy. I love it. It never occurred to me that these 3 are brothers until we met their 4th littlest brother in the episode Where's Our Wishing Well. It's sad that at the end of this, the kid is also in trouble because he barely had anything to do with it. I thought Callie would have at least acknowledged this kid, but no, she does not care. Callie. What the hell? She didn't properly meet him until Callie's got trouble. This kid's name is Teddy, and as I suspected, he's a nice kid. Callie tries to trust him, undoing these handcuffs that never should have been on this 9-year-old in the first place, but because he tried to escape back to his brothers, Callie feels betrayed. Callie. That's his family. It's gonna take a bit longer for him to unpack how terribly they've been treating him. And to the show's credit, the 3 older brothers continuously abandon this little guy. So it isn't even a situation where they're loyal to their family despite being criminals. No, they are just terrible brothers. If there's one thing about the morals in this show is that they are uncomplex, there's right and wrong, and that's it. Callie saves little Teddy from a whirlpool, and in return, Teddy saves her from his brothers. So he is officially redeemed. Again, I mean, it's a kid show, it's fine. It's a fine plot line. I don't care. In Peck Clowns Around, there are bull thieves, and they seem pretty unremarkable until the next episode, Toby's Christmas Critter, when these same 2 dogs steal Santa's reindeer and all the presents. An insult to Santa's magic level, to be sure. By befriending the reindeer comet, Toby takes these bad guys down, and he also has trouble saying goodbye because he really enjoyed riding on this magical reindeer. Luckily, Toby gets a goat for Christmas.
The goat.
And this is his new pet for the rest of the series. I should be focused on that more, but the Christmas lore is fascinating to me. The choice to only hear Santa but not actually see him leaves a lot up in the air. Is Santa still human? Is he the last human? We'll never know. In the episode Barnstorming Bandit, farmers' cows are being stolen, but the farmers don't see who did it, they only hear a loud buzz. At the end of the episode, it's revealed to be a vulture in a newfangled airplane. I love seeing how the introduction of tech confuses them, but something that doesn't make sense with the logic of this show is Callie saying that the plane is too high for her lasso to reach. You guys literally lassoed the sun. What are you talking about? In the episode Peck Gets Fooled, we meet Phineas Foolery, who is arrested for cheating at cards. I thought it was kind of ridiculous that the rules of a game meant this much, but turns out what they kind of dance around is that the town was gambling. Callie had to return everything that the scam artist Phineas won, but she left the trickster with Peck, and as the title suggests, he was swindled. The cocky bastard Phineas escapes jail and locks Peck inside. Peck was fooled 3 times, but fool him a 4th? You're going to jail. It's so funny to me that they never address the elephant in the room that is, the town was gambling. Peck took down the incredibly fast Snow Weasel Silverado brothers. They were one-off villains, kind of unremarkable. In Wrong Way Wagon Train, we meet a mother vulture and her 2 sons. 2 generations of evildoers. And she is also the sister of the airplane vulture, as seen in the episode Buzzard Bust Out. So the bad guy family tree grows. Back to the episode Wrong Way Wagon Train. The mother-son duo stole these wagons and tried to leave Callie and Ella in a dust storm. After they tricked the 2 into showing them the way, playing up the defenseless old lady act brought me back to Granny May from Word Girl and Mama Binturong from The Lion Guard. It's probably my favorite type of villain trope. I think it's very fun. Speaking of, this dog trio that's sometimes a duo is seen again in Peck's Prisoner Promise, and they sneak past Peck by pretending to be defenseless old ladies. You think that's all the hijinks? No. The thieves steal Peck, who instead of holding his own, decides to handcuff himself to the criminal. I can't even start with this one. Peck's competence fluctuates so much. It's like he wakes up every day and decides whether or not he'll suck. The three dogs are back again in the prize fight when they steal these golden skates. But once again, I can't focus on the villainy because the good guys are infuriating me more, and this time, I'm actually on Peck's side. Toby and Peck are fighting over who won these skates. Peck's raffle ticket won, but he was away from the stage because he had a job to do. He had to help someone. So Toby genuinely thinks he himself won because he was there to claim the prize with Peck's ticket and Peck wasn't. This is so entitled and out of character for Toby. And then to top it all off, Callie hears what happens and says, sounds like the skates belong to both of you. No, they're Peck's skates. He won them with his ticket. You wanted him to not help a citizen in need so he could claim his prize? No good deed goes unpunished, dude. But this time the green one was in the wrong. I saved the weirdest instance of a human-like animal this late in the game because it happens so late in the series. We meet Johnny Strum in Season 2, Episode 14, The Ballad of Sweet Strings. And yes, Johnny Strum is a horse who rides in on a horse. The pet horses we're used to seeing. And guess what else? When Johnny Strum sings, he hypnotizes people.
What?
Dude even hypnotized Callie's lasso. I was wondering how the actual frick Callie would take him down. I was, no joke, on the edge of my seat. She challenges him to a singing contest to get her guitar he stole back. Look at how stunned he is by her voice. Jaw dropped, slight fear. Both of them kept pursuing the other and then hiding, like, she's good, he's good. Don't make me spell it out. You're gonna hate this. I'm gonna sound like a freak. It was a pretty charged scene. Don't boo me, I'm right!
He's good. Can't listen.
Under my spell yet, Sheriff?
And during this next part, for half a second, I thought he said, "Stand back, don't make me want you again."
Don't make me want you again.
And low-key, that is actually what he means. He ends up getting hypnotized by Sheriff Callie, singing along with her in a trance state. Then in jail, he's crying, and she tells him off, saying he's not powerful because he never sang about love for anyone other than himself. I mean, I fear if I say any more, Disney will send me a cease and desist. But like, I can't be the only one that sees AO3 potential here, right? Please, I actually can't be the only one. They were a bit relentless with Villain Season 2, so I'm gonna be a bit picky with what I share. We don't have to hear the 100th time the milk bandit tried to steal milk. I'll only mention the exciting ones. Okay, just one more mention of the milk bandit. In Tunnel of Trouble, he purposely gets thrown in jail because he already made a tunnel to freedom. It's Milk Day, so he already knows he's the #1 suspect. So he makes them think he got caught, but he's actually still stealing milk. Usual shenanigans, right? I only mention this episode because this dude stole people's milk mustaches off their faces. That's a new one. A really interesting one-off villainous duo are these beavers in the episode How the Water Was Won. They made this huge dam blocking off the town's water supply to try and sell them a resource they need to survive that's always been free. Peak capitalism. Probably the most evil shit we've seen from this show so far. And if that isn't enough,
You sure are giving us our water.
Don't think so, Sheriff. See, the water ain't the only thing of yours we've got.
Let him go!
Not till you pay up.
I am so surprised we never see these villains again. That was Terrifying. Wildcat McGraw is so evil, they really reflected it in his design, where they gave him that damn bearded dragon's eyes, and that texture effect on the eyes is way more creepy for a mammal character. Why does he look like that? In the episode Double Trouble, they had a reward of 3 bags of gold for Wildcat McGraw's capture. That's how bad he is. But there are opportunists everywhere, like our old friends Tricky, Travis, and Oswald. Travis pretends to be McGraw with this giant papier-mâché head, and they took the reward money. But their plan ended up working against them, karmic justice, because Wildcat McGraw wanted to partner up with Travis. Meanwhile, Travis is scared of this McGraw character. The crimes each pull are incompatible with each other. McGraw is violent. Travis is just a prankster.
I'm just a total prankster.
Triple whammy arrest in the end, but Callie once again makes Travis and Oswald do community service. She still isn't giving up on showing them the right way. In the Great Halloween Robbery, the 3 dog bad guys not only take the pumpkin full of candy, but they launch this giant jack-o'-lantern at Sheriff Callie, have enough time to hide the stash of candy that they just stole, and then Callie says they have to let the thieves go because they don't have proper evidence of a theft? We once again return to lawful stupid. They threw your own Halloween pumpkin at you. That alone is enough for an arrest. Would that not be aggravated assault? And tampering with the police investigation, getaway? That action alone is actually worse than stealing the candy. Season 2 has more action, but like I said, they nerfed my girl Callie for real. The candy stash the bandits put in the dirt grew into candy corn. Yet another instance of the interesting way food nature works in this world. In the episode The New Sheriff in Town, the 3 bad dogs switched the ballot box to make it look like the leader of their group won the sheriff election. And if that isn't stupid enough, they make it look like a unanimous landslide victory. Ella, you counted the votes, but you also voted. Unless you voted for the criminal, you know the results were rigged. Why does the whole town just go with a criminal being in charge? I heard it as I said it. You know, I heard it as I said it. I shouldn't be surprised. I do wish we got to see nice and friendly corners turn on each other. Like, which of you bitches voted for him? I know Disney Jr. can't do that. I stand by it. It would have been funny to see. The train bandit wolves, Billy Goat the Kid, the 2 vultures, and the bearded dragon Mean McGee all team up in Season 2, Episode 19, Stagecoach to Yonderville. And the timing of their plan couldn't be any worse, because if they snuck up on just Sheriff Callie and Peck, the bad guys would have won. They just chose the one day they were traveling in a group of 8, and everyone in the group contributed to the villain's downfall. Even Southern Belle Priscilla used her comically long shopping list as a weapon. I love her.
Guess we all learned that South Park is more than just a town. It's a community that nobody can split up.
They narrowly avoided Callie being perfect by having her eagerness to help be to her own detriment. In the episode Pesky Kangaroo Rat, this little critter is causing quite the commotion, and it's so quick not even Callie's lasso can catch it. Callie gets so irritated and frantic, she comes up with many back-to-back plans that all blow up in her face. Classic cat and mouse. The village old man, Tio Tortuga, teaches her the importance of being patient. Sheriff Callie's job, or at least what she takes on because she loves her town so much, includes her dealing with any kind of conflict. Even when there is no threat, she will try to instill morals in people. Imagine an actual cop singing a whole song to brothers who won't say sorry to each other. It's just hilarious. It makes sense in this kid show genre, but I want to see this type of interaction in a world where it does not fit. Give me an Enchanted movie, but instead of a Disney princess going to the real world, it's a kid show cop going to the real world. Equal parts hilarious and also incredibly depressing, actually. Callie never gets a break with this silly town. Watch this.
Thank you kindly, Sheriff Callie. I never would have found my keys without you.
No problem, Uncle Bun. But next time, don't hide your keys in your belly button.
I won't.
Ew, is that sweet old shopkeeper rabbit secretly a perv? In episode 14A, Toby says it seems like Callie never asks for help. But Tio Tortuga, resident old person, tells the story of the first time Callie asked for help. Back in the day, she was stretched even thinner, helping people with stupid problems like which milkshake tastes best. She rode back and forth so much helping people that that's how the canyon was created. She couldn't get out of this new canyon, so she used her lasso to launch her hat into town. On her hat, she wrote to her friends saying she was in trouble, and they all rushed over to help her. Not only is this a cute story and lesson, but it also confirms that Toby the Cactus is one of the newest people in town. You know who's been there from the start? Those damn prairie dogs.
Stop staring at me with them big old eyes.
How do you write an omniscient narrator without making them look malicious? In the episode Toby's Untrue Achoo, the prairie dog trio are the only ones that caught on to the fact that Toby was lying about feeling ill to get all the attention Callie got from actually being sick. We saw a very similar plot play out earlier this year in Doc McStuffins. But could you imagine, instead of seeing that Lammy plot play out, there were toys that sang it right in front of everyone? We know she's full of shit, faking illnesses, isn't it? I'm not even gonna do the harmony, I'm tired. That is exactly what happens here. Right in front of Callie, these three expose Toby, but she doesn't hear them. Are these prairie dogs figments of our imagination? Do they look like chipmunks because that's what our subconscious associates with prairie dogs? Because of that damn dramatic chipmunk video? Did I just age myself with that reference? These three also seem to be highly amused by all the chaos. What they choose to repeat with the biggest smiles on their faces says a lot about them. This bulldog was launched onto a hot iron, and then the doctor told him not to sit down for a week. You know what would add insult to injury? Hearing this.
They can't sit down for a week.
Shut the up.
It sure does feel like we're hallucinating these three, because they keep popping up in strange places. In the episode Gold Mine Mix-Up, they're in this cabinet that immediately gets closed on them. Later on in this same episode, they're sliding down a mining tunnel. It feels like they were created specifically to taunt me. The first episode where another character acknowledges the existence of these three is in episode 6, Jail Crazy. In this episode, Peck was in charge, and he power tripped and threw everyone in jail. And Peck threw these three in jail too. I thought that disproved my theory, but then I remembered the episode is called Jail Crazy. And look at this one prairie dog. Look at the fear on his face. Sure, that could just be, oh, he was mean to us. But look at the way he looks back. He looks almost confused. My headcanon is that right here, he was thinking, Peck isn't supposed to see us. How did he see us? The other two are just celebrating getting out of jail, trying to blend in with the rest of the crowd. But this one guy really sold me on my theory. For now. In episode 7A, Toby Gets Nosy, the ongoing plot of the episode is taking a photo of the whole town. Cameras are new tech, Peck just ordered one, so everyone is really excited about it. Repeatedly throughout the episode, they keep making it very clear that this will be a picture of the whole town. And guess who isn't in the picture? The prairie dog trio. If that isn't enough, this scene in Peck Takes It Back sent a chill down my spine. Pay close attention to the bench next to the door. They start singing their little song on it. They disappeared. They actually fully disappeared, dude. They usually animate them scurrying away, but I am convinced this is what happens when we're not looking. Did we ever exist? No, we didn't. They disappear again behind a stalk of corn in Callie's Blue Jay Blues. And in Sparky's Lucky Day, the trio appears on a poster. I feel like they're a type of legend or something. I mean, even in the poster, their clothes are more put together. The girlie's hat doesn't have a chunk taken out of it like it usually does. Maybe these three have lived here in the past and have passed on. The prairie dog trio are ghosts.
Fake news.
Fight it all you want, but I'm on to you. Ghosts in this world are also confirmed to be real. In Here Comes the Sun, Callie mentions ghosts as something she's encountered. And we know she didn't make this up as just a scary campfire story, because in a future episode, when Peck makes up a story, she emphasizes the importance of letting people know when a story is fake. So ghosts in this world, they're real, unless Callie is a hypocrite. So far, other than when Peck threw them in jail, every interaction with the prairie dogs have been so indirect. Something as small as how you'd turn your head at a gust of wind. But my theorizing was ruined in the season 2 episode Bandit Toby, when this evil cactus named Kit stole one of the prairie dog's instruments. Fuck! And it happened again in Long Adios, when the girlie from the Prairie Dog Trio gave Callie her suitcase back. You know what? What's scarier than being a ghost? Everyone just deciding to put all their effort into ignoring you for no reason at all. I mean, there is one other explanation. We know from Johnny Strum that music, much like food in this world, has magical properties. So maybe the Prairie Dog Trio makes themselves invisible with their song, or maybe... Dear God, no. Maybe the trio are the real ones pulling the strings. Think about it. They sing about the lesson, show up at integral parts of the story. No one seems to hear their song when it contains spoilers. And whenever a character interacts with them, it's always for comedic effect. Maybe they're using hypnotism like Johnny Strum, and they're the ones coming up with these storylines for the town to unknowingly act out. I just got goosebumps.
Why is she still talking?
I would have loved to see more of this show. I think the unique blend of genres was a huge strength. I can't think of another kids show that's a Western. This one-of-a-kind feel is made evident when looking at the setting. The Wild West, where the bars are full of milkshakes, the showdown are horseshoe throws, and the stick-ups are sticky-ups with tape instead of guns. It is so darn charming. I also feel like, I'll just throw this right at the end here, there is shipping potential between Priscilla the Skunk, voiced by the legend Cree Summer, and Sherif Callie. Rarity and Applejack vibes between the two of them for sure. Here's a mini compilation to show you what I mean.
Well, hello, Sherif. What brings you here?
Howdy, Priscilla. I thought I'd just stop this train.
Going to Gully Washer Canyon is out of the question.
Aw, I know you have it in you, Priscilla. You'd be surprised at what you'll do to help someone you care about.
Oh, Sherif, thank you for saving me. Why, you jumped in that water without so much of a care about getting soaked.
If you can get muddy, Priscilla, then I reckon I can get wet. But now you know why cats and water don't mix.
What do you think? Have I lost it? I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. We are so close to 300,000 subscribers. It means the absolute world to me. If you're still not convinced, perhaps you should check out this video where I went to every single Great Wolf Lodge, and maybe even the second channel video where I obtained this animatronic right behind me. Thanks again to Love and Pies for sponsoring my video, and have a great day, butt lovers. I demand it. Bye! Oh, and by the way, we have merch. This isn't a limited drop. This will just continue going and going. Happy holidays, silly gooses!